A charger has 600 health. The damage per second of an SMG is 320. An SMG will kill a charger in a little under 2 seconds. But there's not just one survivor in Left 4 Dead, there are 4. Assuming they're not occupied with anything else, they would logically all shoot the charger, so the real DPS would be 1280 and the charger would die in under half a second. Remember that charger has the most health outside of the tank and witch. Everybody else has it even worse. Also, 320 is the worst DPS of any automatic primary weapon. It gets even worse when the survivors have better guns and when you consider headshots. Oh, also, any melee weapon will deal 500 damage to a charger on the body and always instantly kill if they hit the head. No matter what infected you're playing, the survivors can kill you very quickly if allowed to, even the tank. In the example with the charger, you could grab one survivor to cut out their chunk of the damage, but the remaining 3 are still going to kill you before you can do any meaningful damage. Of course, you can ram into them as well at the same time to send them flying, which will temporarily stop them from being able to shoot as well, but if even one of them avoids getting hit, you're still looking at death in probably 2 seconds or less. To land attacks on the survivors that are actually effective, you have to stop them from retaliating. You're only one infected though, and unless every attack you do is gonna look like this, the only way you'll avoid retaliation is by assisting and being assisted by your 3 teammates. You don't need me to tell you, I'm sure, that Charger is not the only infected that can stop a survivor from using their weapons. Everyone can do it. Okay, not really Spitter, but everyone else, yes. Even Boomer can distract and blind survivors. This means you need to try to coordinate with your team to attack at the same time, aka synchronize your attacks, aka sync. The problem is, that's kind of hard in versus because typing takes too long generally and the voice chat sounds like this. Some people use chat binds to signal when they want the team to attack. Barring that, this means you'll usually just have to look at what your teammates are doing to decide when to spawn. If they spawn, then it's probably time for you to spawn as well. If your teammates aren't spawning, that might be because they're expecting you to spawn first. In most situations, Boomer, Charger, and Hunter should go first because they're the ones most likely to knock their teammates off of their targets and they create time for everyone else to assist. Smoker, Jockey, and Spitter are generally too weak to lead an attack and are the most likely to get shut down instantly, so they should follow shortly after. Everyone on the team should try to target a different survivor. The best attacks are going to be the ones where every survivor is occupied. You should try your best to avoid knocking your teammates off of their targets or stealing their target. Sometimes in the chaos of everything, this will happen anyway. Jockey and Charger are generally stuck targeting whoever is closest to them, so if you're playing Smoker or Hunter, you might want to go for somebody farther away. If a Smoker has multiple people under its crosshair at once, it targets the person who is farthest away. Go for people who are not being grabbed, and among those people, go for ones that are not boomed first. A survivor that's blinded by bio and getting swarmed by commons is a lot less likely to notice and kill you. From there are only a few niche situations where one survivor is better to pick than the other, and I don't think I'll go through them. These are the rules you should follow unless you're Spitter or Boomer. Spitter usually can't in-cap survivors on her own because they usually just walk out of the spit. Man, if only there was some way to make survivors just not move. But it doesn't exist. I'm kidding. Spit on survivors who have been grabbed. If they're grabbed, they're not leaving the spit. That's the entire secret to Spitter. Spitting on boomed survivors who aren't grabbed might also be good if they're actively being swarmed by commons, but even then they might surprise you, so I would say stick to the survivors that are grabbed if there are any. Boomer is also special since it doesn't grab anyone. If you're playing Boomer, you simply want to boom as many people as you can, but be careful not to stand too close to your teammates because when you pop, you'll knock them off their targets. Sometimes that might be what you want, but usually you should avoid it. For multiple reasons, if you have a full team of 4, you'll find that one of your teammates will always be a Spitter or Boomer if you don't have both of them. The game will try to avoid giving you 4 grabbers at the same time. The only way you can ever have that happen is if a 4th player joins while a bot is alive. It's very uncommon though. What's a bit more common is the Witch. The Witch is also a teammate and she's basically a 4th grabber. If you assist her in the right way, she will in-cap someone in one hit, leaving the non-bot infected to attack the other 3 survivors. This would be a good time to remind you don't have to kill all 4 survivors to end the half. Just in-cap. Nothing about sinking is really unique to the tank, but I just want to throw it in that you still have to sink even when there's a tank. The tank moves just slightly slower than a survivor on green health, so they have no chance of catching up to a healthy survivor unless the survivor makes a movement mistake or gets attacked by another infected. The tank cannot just charge in blindly and expect results, and the other members of the team are not free to kick back and do whatever. Unless the tank messes up and dies in a way that's specifically their fault, the tank did not fail, the team failed. It's best to keep your distance as tank and throw rocks from a safe place unless the survivors are below green health or boomed. Now I'm going to debunk some real responses people have given me for why they won't sink. I have more damage, so don't tell me what to do. Not all damage is equally important. Damage you do to a survivor that's down gets rewarded all the same, but once they're picked up, it doesn't mean anything. Damage from hittables is just complete nonsense. Death charges count as 300 damage, which is entirely arbitrary. A single scratch on a down survivor can prevent them from being picked up and change the course of the map, but you're only getting a few points for it. Here's a clip where one smoke led to a wipe.
Shoot that tongue! Shoot that tongue! Come on now. What you going on about? You gonna make it? Let's get you up.
63 points. If you think this number equates to skill, you are an idiot. Damage isn't even the most important thing. Like I said, the actual relevant win condition is just that you grab or down them all at the same time. You almost never win by giving them 1,000 paper cuts. Also, maybe the reason your team isn't getting damage is because you won't create openings for them. Actually, going one by one and chipping them down bit by bit can totally work. Going by your playbook, an average charger attack will do 25 damage, smoker 6, hunter let's say 25, spitter, I don't know, 5, boomer how am I even meant to factor that in, and jockey 8. That's an average of 14 damage. If there are 4 players on the infected team, the respawn timer is 20 seconds. Once you add on the time where the camera zoomed out after dying and before the timer starts, and the time it takes to find a place to spawn at, that's about 30 seconds from the start of one attack to the start of the next. With 4 players, that'd be one attack every 7.5 seconds. This team would do 112 damage per minute. Let's say to kill a survivor, you damage away their initial 100 health. They use a kit to go back to 80. You damage that away and they're left on 30 temp health. Down them again and then damage away their last 30 to kill them. That's 240 health, 960 for the whole team. Now all you need is a map that takes 8.5 minutes. We don't need to sink because we have infinite chances to attack before they reach the safe house. The survivors are going to always be moving forward. It is not even close to feasible to slow survivors down enough to make a map last longer than this fucking video when you're doing one solo attack every 7.5 seconds on average, unless the survivors are really bad. So no, you do not have infinite chances. I just want to have fun. Okay, I'm going to show you 2 clips. You tell me what looks more fun.